Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9 FM. I'm Paul Kretschmer. On today's broadcast, you'll be hearing about the story of Angela Williams, a woman who has persevered through more than the usual amount of tragedy in a person's life.
Actually, no. A friend of mine who, Glenn Aubrey, who's the one that spearheaded and really convinced me to do this, asked me just to tell my story and stuff, which I'm very grateful for him and stuff for pushing me. It's been very therapeutic, that's for sure.
Okay, can you briefly summarize? I know that's kind of an oxymoron, maybe, but could you briefly summarize the kind of life challenges that you have faced that caused you to have a story that someone else, such as your friend and others, would be interested in hearing about or knowing about and using as an encouragement in their own life? Well,
it started, I think, a lot of it when my brother was killed, like I said, back in 1992.
Yeah.
And it was really hard, like I said, on my mother and my dad and stuff. But it really resonated home when my mom and dad passed away with 4 months of each other.
Wow, yeah.
And then after my dad passing away, then it was like, hey, you're sick. And then after I get that taken care of, 6 months later, my husband was diagnosed with colon cancer, and 2 years after that, he passes away, and it's like, wham, 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 you know? It's like, wow.
Had you ever heard or known of any situation like that among any of the people that you knew in life that had faced that kind of rapid leave-taking, as it were, in such short order?
Personally, no. The only person that come close was a coworker. She lost her mom and dad, or her mother and her brother, within a week of each other. And it's like, wow, I thought I had it rough, but dang, she had to plan 2 funerals in a matter of a week. And it's like, oh, that had to be really, really tough.
Yeah. What do you attribute your capacity to stand an even keel or regain an even keel in your life? Was it your personal faith?
A lot of it, yes. You know, as I stated in my book, I'm still searching, for that right, spot or that right moment that it's just all going to click and everything's going to reveal itself. But a lot of it has to do with my mom and dad and the way they raised me. They didn't raise, a person to be, as even though she would like to have had a girly girl, I was always more of a tomboy type thing.
Yeah.
So, but I believe that between the faith and my mom and dad, that helped a lot, because I honestly believe that they knew that I was going to have to, be the one to pick up the pieces from everything. So,
at what age were you, and what age was your brother at when he got taken? Then,
my brother was 34 and stuff when he was killed. And I was, my brother was 4 years older than me, so I was 30.
Yeah, so it sounds like it was an accident.
Yes, he was in a truck accident. He was on his way home from his last trip. He was in what they call a gondola truck.
Oh, yeah.
The semi-truck. The trailer of it looks more like if you take a dump truck and you extend it out 30 feet or whatever with an open end. Well, they had logs in it, with the bandit, of course, and something went terribly wrong, and it was just a instantaneously type thing, and all we can do is make sure that he didn't suffer. But yeah, it was not a good way to go, that was for sure.
Yeah. And as far as your parents passing away so quickly after that, and so close together for that matter, were they ill, or were there other factors in their life that caused all of that to collapse together so closely like that?
Well, they were both not in the best of health, of course, because Mom, she went through a series of, health issues, and so did my dad. And Mom, when she was having surgery and stuff, she had a stroke in the middle of her surgery. And yeah, it was a touch and go. I thought we were going to lose her then, but we got her home enough to where my dad could go in at least twice a day to be with her in a nursing home. And she passed away in the nursing home. And then Dad, really, kind of like, they've been together for so long, not many years, they just 4 months later, his heart just finally said, I'm done, and that was it.
I can picture that, having known some couples in situations in my own life that were so so linked together. So we refer to them as couples, meaning two, but they were. It was almost like I knew them as one because they were so together.
Yeah, well, they always say, statistics. They say if when they're bound like that for so long, if the one spouse can live at least 6 months past the other one passing, then they stand a pretty good chance that they're going to survive. But most generally, if you've known people that have been together for years and years and years, it's usually within 6 months the other one's gone right along with them.
Wow.
It's tough, but
I understand that you make a point of honoring personal integrity to do what's right, moving beyond yourself. Can you describe what that looks like for you?
For me, it was, it's no matter how, I don't want to paint my mom and dad in a bad light because I don't. I loved them to my core, and whatever my mom and dad wanted, I just did. No questions asked. I just did it, and that's the way I was raised. This is how you do it. And taking care of others and honoring others, is it's something fulfilling. We didn't find out till years. Let's see. Me and my mom was driving up to the Portland one day, and we stopped at this little restaurant where my dad always stopped for his when he was driving truck. Mm-hmm. And we didn't find out then until my dad was secretly feeding all the people that were hitchhiking up and down I-5 corridor.
Oh, wow.
And my mom's like, what? She says, oh, yeah, he comes in here, if somebody walks in off the street, and if they don't have money, he gives the waitress extra money and says, feed him, and walks out the door. And it's like, we didn't realize he did that for years. It's like, wow. So I think that's where a lot of it I come from is, I try to do, good for others as best I can when I can, Sometimes, I regret that. Then that's one part of my regrets I have is that I wished I was in a better position to help others more, and and someday I may be. You never know.
So your dad and your brother were both truckers then?
Yes, they were. They sure were.
Yeah, and it sounds like your father carried on kind of sort of a personal ministry, you could call it, without drawing attention to himself, if it could go on like that for quite some time and for you to be unaware of it.
Oh, yeah. My dad, I found out later, long after my dad had passed away, the things he did, that you just went, what? It shocked you, like, my dad did this, because he was always such a rough, gruff type person, you're going, Dad, that's, don't do that, don't say that, and then to find out, he was the total opposite of his gruffness, it's like, it throws you for a minute, because all I'm growing up is like how, he was in the Marine Corps and in the Army both, and he was a die-hard Marine, you know how they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
so,
I've known a few.
Yeah, Dad has a soft spot, what?
In that regard, certainly.
It's like they're afraid to show their true selves to the family, and that's what really, kind of sad in a way. You're thinking, God, where's that guy? I wish I'd have known that person, and I wish I could have saw that, But,
I understand that you help your community by cooking. What can you tell us about that side of you?
I love to cook. I have always loved to cook. Yeah. When I get when I get in the mood to cook, or it hits me, it's massive. It's like, oh, now that I've got all this food, what do I do with it? So I start dishing it out to anybody and everybody that wants food. Hey, you want it? Here, take it, go. Just because I got, it's just me, myself, and I, and so I have to. When I get in those moods, I have to find guinea pigs that's willing to, hey, I've tried out something new. Let's try this today, and so it's pretty good. I love doing that.
Is that something you do on the side of your life, aside from work, from a job, or is that your job?
No. I work for the government. I'm a contract specialist.
Oh, okay.
So that's my daily job.
How did you pick up on that? Is that something that you came by naturally, or is it something that was nurtured within your own family as you were growing up?
No, actually, I tried to go into the service, and the first time I went in to try, they go, well, you're 1 pound overweight. You got to come back. Okay, and then the next time I went in there, well, now you're 16 pounds overweight. So it's like, I tried 2 or different times, and I went, apparently the service didn't want me, so I figured another way to go about helping is, okay, well, let's go work for the VA, and it was pretty good because I started volunteering there and stuff. I volunteered there for 2 days shy of a full year before I finally got hired on and stuff, and I have been there ever since. I just celebrated my 25th year working there last month.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you describe again, just for a moment, what that job entails? You gave us the title a moment ago, but I'm interested a little bit more in what goes on, or what's behind the scenes behind the title that includes the responsibilities that are yours to perform.
My responsibilities is to put in contracts in place, whether it be to order supplies or for services to help our veterans. Right now, let's see, what I'm working on is, or I just finished up, is a contract for a copier lease and maintenance for all of the VA for Roseburg, and what it entails is 50 plus copiers that are on station.
Oh, wow.
And what we do is we make sure that they're maintained, and all the supplies are there, and that those copiers can be anywhere. They can be down where the patient care is taking place. There's a lot of them down there, to up in where the doctor's offices are, all over the place. So, but that's pretty much part of my job. I just go out and find the best I can for, services and the best priorities and, and the best money.
So you must do a certain amount of reading and a certain amount of research, and you get pretty acquainted with what you need to know in order to perform the job well then.
Oh, yes, a lot of market research.
Yeah.
I may not ever get to see what I'm buying or, hands touch it, but yes, I have saved a lot of money over the years.
It sounds like, as they say, it sounds like you're a very responsible person. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and you're responsible.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Do you have any other stories to share with listeners, or do you think what you've written here is the story that you were given to tell?
Well, I truly believe, and I've been in that spot where people, will tell you, it gets better, don't worry. And I'm a firm tell you that I would be looking at them going, like, you're so full of it. No, it doesn't get better. You don't understand. I'm hurting now. I want to know, things like this. And time does. It really does. But I cannot stress enough that if you do not take care of yourself and talk to those ones that, and like with my brother, we didn't have time to talk to him when they're sudden like that. But if you do have that chance to where you do get to spend time with your loved ones, you can talk to them. If it's hard to say it, because you don't want to have that shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing you could possibly have, because those regrets like that's what eats people alive, I believe. I mean, you constantly think about it. God, if I should have done this, or if I could have done that, if I just had one more chance to talk to him, you don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
And I can honestly say, when it comes to my family like that, I do have no regrets on how my family, when they left this earth, that I was in a spot to where, hey, I did my best I could. I know I did the best I could.
Thank you very much, Angela. Angela Williams, the author of Knowing You've Done Your Best. Thank you very much for your conversation with me, for our listeners here in Connecticut and Western Massachusetts.
Well, thank you, sir. And like I said, you can see if you go to my website that, I know it's pretty long. It's the title of the book, knowingyourbest.com. You can see some of my cooking, because I grill outside, the Mongolian grill and fajitas and things like this. Oh, you get to see the colored food. Oh, yeah, love it and stuff. And there'll be more to come. I do some blogging on that website, too. And you can also buy my book off of there, and also Amazon and Barnes & Noble and things like this.
Thank you for sharing yourself with us today.
Thank you, sir.
Angela Williams was my guest on today's WIHS Journal. For more information, call us at 860-346-1049. You can also visit our YouTube channel at WIHS 1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the staff or management of the station. I'm Paul Kretschmer on the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from WIHS, Middletown.